All right, thanks for joining us today. We're talking about Satco and Nuvo LED ceiling fixtures, applications, when to use them, and what the difference is between them. There's several different options and a couple different products that we're going to talk about, and hopefully they're helpful to you guys as you're working with customers and deciding which fixture to use and which application based on the price point, where they're going, and the features that are needed. So really today, what we're going to be talking about um, if we go back here, we're going to talk about the Blink Plus, flat panels and how those two things are different, linear strip fixtures and slim and wide linear strip fixtures, and there's actually a difference between those two things, garage wraps and puff lights. There's certainly a bunch of other different options that Sabco provides, but those are going to be the ones that we're focusing on today and really digging into the specs on those. So key questions to ask before we're talking about getting into the actual product is for the application or for the customer, is there a junction box being used, or are we just mounting it to drywall? Obviously, what am I mounting to? We just talked about that. Are there height or width requirements for this fixture? Is it in a garage with a low ceiling? Is it in a closet with a low ceiling? Or are there certain requirements that we have to adhere to? Where am I replacing, and how much light do I actually need? So are we replacing a flush mount fixture? Are we replacing a recess fixture? What's the customer's budget? What type of rating do they need? Do they need damp location? Is it going outside? Do they need Title 24? And then certainly how to dim this as well if that's needed. So the first thing we're going to talk about is Blink and Blink Plus. These are both fixtures that hopefully you guys are familiar with. Blink is our most popular product series from Satco. Many other companies offer a similar style. We hit all the specifications and I believe have the most options out there. So the Blink series, we have a 5.5 inch, a 7, 9, and 13 inch size. We do them in round and square options. For the majority, we have 27 and 3000K available. These are all dimmable with a CL dimmer or an ELV. They're all Title 24 listed, and they're all wet location listed as well. So it's a super versatile product for an incredible price point. It's got a little bit more of a decorative look. So as we talk about some of the other fixtures that you guys are going to see in this presentation, this is a little bit more residentially friendly, great for project work, apartment buildings. Anytime you're using, you need a lot of these because the installation is very quick. These you actually do need a junction box, so there's no junction box built in. But as you can see here, they're really, really easy to mount. This is actually the bracket that you would mount to the junction box there. This is the back of the fixture. So 4 different finishes, pretty much available in every single size. We've also included black in 2020 as a new finish. Slim 1-inch design as well, so that fixture only hangs off the ceiling about an inch. So it's a really versatile piece. It's also made with anti-yellowing polystyrene material, so you're not going to get that yellowing over time. You're not going to get that kind of cheap look over time. This is one of my favorite applications for it, kind of a step light here outside, because these are wet location. And most importantly, easy installation. So as I said, if you're doing project work or if you're doing, 15, 20 of these, even more, it's really going to cut down on labor cost just because of how fast it is to install. So you're going to mount this box or this plate right here to the back of the junction box, and then the fixture just snaps onto the ceiling or to the wall. So next we're going to talk about Blink Plus. There is a subtle difference between Blink and Blink Plus. The Blink series is basically any size from 5, 7, 9, or 13 inches. The Blink Plus is going to be the larger sizes. So it's just a delineation in the size of the fixture. They mount in a similar way. So again, a pretty easy installation here. This is actually the bracket, and then that 1x4 would slide onto that bracket there. So again, you do need a junction box. The main difference between the Blink and the Blink Plus series is number one, the size, certainly the light output as well. So if you need more lumen output, In garages, I see Blink Plus used a lot, especially our 1x4s here. If you need more of that lumen output, Blink Plus is probably the way to go. Another key difference is these are going to be ELV dimming only. So they're certainly dimmable, but you need an ELV dimmer to dim them. And then there's generally, for the Blink Plus series, generally less finish options. Mostly we're just looking at a white trim. And then we also have our Profile series, which is just a little bit more decorative, has more of that lip on it there, gunmetal finish, bronze, and white. So let's talk about the difference between flat panels and Blink Plus. This is a really key thing. I see it all the time, especially when you're looking in the catalog. The Blink Plus and the flat panels look very similar. So the flat panels are meant for drop or T-bar ceilings here. Generally, these are going to be more of a commercial use. So the Blink and the Blink Plus are generally used for more of a residential look. These are generally more for commercial spaces because you're going to have a drop or T-bar ceiling in there. And you can see that you're going to have an 80 CRI. They're damp location only, 0 to 10 volt dimming. They are range voltage as well. So I see a lot of times people order a flat panel expecting it to mount directly to the ceiling. They don't. They have an extra driver on the back of the fixture, and that will not allow it to mount directly to a junction box. So if you need something to mount directly or flush to the ceiling, you're going to want to look at the Blink Plus series. Again, these are going to be more for T-bars, drop ceilings. That's not to say necessarily that you can't use these in a residence. We do have several options here. We have suspension kits, which you can use to hang these from the ceiling. We have flush mount ceiling frame kits. So if you do want to use this in a garage, a lot of times people want to use the 2x4 option, the 2 foot by 4 foot. We don't have the 2 foot by 4 foot in a Blink Plus, but we do in the flat panel. And so you could use this frame kit here essentially to use that, let's say in a garage. So you would mount basically this frame kit to the ceiling and then slide the flat panel in there. We also have the recessed flange kits, which allow you to drop it directly into drywall to create a really flush and more contemporary look. So next we're going to talk about strip fixtures. So there's a couple different strip fixture types out there. These are the first type we're going to talk about here, the LED strip fixtures. These are generally going to be used more for bathrooms, closets, kitchens, some retail spaces as well. You can see the drop down on these is about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, as you see over here. The lumen output, if we look at it, we have a 4-footer at 1800 lumens. We've also got a 1, 2, and a 4-footer that's connectable as well. So these are really, really nice. I actually have these in my garage, and that's what's pictured here. But these are really nice for a couple of reasons. Number one is they have knockouts on both the center right here, and then on the end. This is the connectable version. So I've connected a few of these. But you can use a knockout here and run your wire through the center of that, or you can run it through the end. So it's a really versatile fixture. This actually serves as a junction box too, so you don't necessarily need a junction box if you're using this fixture. Now we go to the LED wide and slim strips. So the real big difference here is these are generally going to be a little bit more commercially friendly. And the reason I say that is they're a little bit more robust. You can see that this is the actual LED portion of the fixture here. This is the junction box or housing of the fixture, and you've got the driver in there. They're also going to be a lot brighter. So these are coming in as far as lumen output about 4,800 lumens. Again, we have a knockout in the center and on the sides, but they're also connectable as well. So you can connect up to 10 of these without any problem. So these would be great for a parking lot, garage, still linkable. The previous product we talked about is also linkable, but up to 27 units because it's a smaller lumen output or smaller wattage. these are linkable up to 10. And again, you've got a little bit more robust lens on there, a little bit more robust fixture for more of a commercial use. We do have these with a battery backup option, motion sensor options. And again, that's an internal J box. So you don't actually need a box in the ceiling. You can just run your wire through that knockout. And this is a quick demonstration here on just how that's done. So you have the male and female end for the LED wide and slim strips, and we've also got the connectors. So LED ceiling wraps. So this is the most economical product we have if you're looking for more of a do-it-yourself or linear ceiling mount option. These, I think the 4-footer is going to come in under $50 retail. So a really, really cost-effective unit and still delivering a ton of light. So we have 3,200 lumens for that 4-foot wrap. Really easy to install. Again, this is an internal, actually, I'm sorry, this one you actually need a junction box. I'm sorry, this fixture here, you don't need a junction box. So you can mount it to a junction box, or if you don't have one, you can run the wire through the back here. So we have a 2-foot and 4-foot option. Again, a really residentially friendly fixture. The difference here between the garage wrap and the slim and wide strips is just that this is going to be a little bit more residentially friendly. It's not quite as robust in terms of the housing and the metal unit. And also we've got a pull chain option and we've got a motion sensor there. LED puff mounts. So these are great fixtures, more for residential use, but also for project work, hospitality, residential spaces, or hospitality spaces, I should say. So these are just basic 11, 14, and 19-inch flush mounts. Really cost effective. I believe the 11-inch is going to retail for under $40. And the really cool part about this is you have a programmable aux sensor. So you can get these with the occupancy sensor or without it. This one here is shown with the occupancy sensor. And they're basically just dip switches that you can use to adjust the sensitivity, the hold time, and the lumen output. So if you notice that it's too sensitive if you're walking by it and it turns on when you don't want it to, you can actually adjust that. You can program how long it stays on for, and you can program how intense that light comes out at. So if you want it to turn on at 50%, you can do that. And here's a little bit more on motion sensors. So again, detection area, sensitivity, hold time, how long it stays on for, daylight sensor. If you want it to not come on if there's daylight around, you can do that. And so that's our presentation. So there's, like I said, there's lots more Satco linear and surface mount options out there, but those are the biggest ones, and I just wanted to provide some use on or information on the application for those. Hopefully you guys found it helpful, and please reach out if you have questions or need help specifying or questions on different applications. Have a great day.